Wright to the stage. Come on down. And if any folks at the booths, if you want to bring your voices down so everyone can hear Ashley as she's giving this powerful presentation. All right.
Thank you so much. Hello, 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 everybody. I am so excited to be here, coming from Toronto, here in Vancouver for this event. And I mean, they're doing such an amazing job. This is their first time that they're doing this event, and it is amazing. And the attention to detail is awesome. So hope to see all of you back next year for this. But yeah, my name is Ashley Wright. Super excited to be here. Of course, today we're going to be talking about what is crypto, what is blockchain, what is Bitcoin, that thing that everybody's talking about, and FTX for those that are a little bit familiar about that. But yes, it was a great introduction. A little bit about myself. My name is Ashley. Started off wanting to be a fashion designer. That was my mindset when I was in high school, then decided to actually go into marketing and human resources. And as I was doing that, I realized that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what in the world I wanted to do. And funny enough, I think it was back in 2016, I was home on my computer just chilling, and I actually overheard my parents talking about Bitcoin. And I'm like, Bitcoin, digital currency, like, what in the world is that? And no one's really talking about it much. Like I said, it's back in 2016. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just invest in this Bitcoin thing. So I took about $300, invested into Bitcoin, and forgot about it for several months. And it wasn't until I went back and I'm like, hey, what happened to my money? I looked and that $300 was almost $900 just within a few months. So I got excited. I'm like, I don't know how this works. I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to get some more zeros at the end of that number. And I decided to learn. So ever since 2016, I've been learning really how to get involved, how to really just dive in and learn about this technology, how to invest, but how to also invest properly. Has anyone actually invested in Bitcoin or heard about Bitcoin just by show of hands? Okay, perfect, perfect. So yeah, it's a very interesting space, and I decided to get involved, and happy to say now I focus on educating youth, showing them how to get involved, also helping women get into this space, because we know finance, technology can be very male-dominated as well. So started Crypto Babes, which is a community across North America. We host events. Literally 2 weeks ago, I was in Miami, did an event out there, then back in Montreal last week, and now here in Vancouver as well. So a lot of education, but one of the newest communities that I just started is focused on helping the Black community get into this space. Because like I said, I started in this industry back in 2016, and I can say from then till now, when I walk into a crypto conference or an event, I'm still one of the few women in the room. Usually maybe one of two or one of three Black individuals, right? So really, really passionate about getting our community into this space as well, okay? So enough about me, I wanna dive in, and I'm very big on affirmations and success. Yes, crypto is exciting, yes, this technology is exciting, but I'm always a believer when it comes to success, when it comes to anything that we're thinking of, and goals and our dreams as to why we're even here today. It really goes back to your purpose and what you're really looking to achieve. So, I'm really big on affirmations. This is an affirmation that I created that helps me to be successful in the areas that I'm in, but I always love to keep things interactive. So I want you guys to say this with me as we kind of go through this, okay? So just repeat after me. It's possible, it's necessary, it's worth it. Awesome. We're going to do it one more time, but as we say this, I want you to think about what success means for you, what it is that you want to accomplish. And I want you to say it like you have energy, that you're excited, right? You're speaking your success into existence. So one more time, it's possible, it's necessary, it's worth it. Perfect. Thank you. Awesome. So now we can get into the exciting stuff. So of course, we're talking about blockchain, crypto technology, that new thing, new technology. Before we kind of dive in and understand what is crypto, why should we learn about it, I like to bring it back to understanding the evolution of money. What has money looked like several years ago compared to today? Why does crypto make sense, right? So we think about the evolution of money. We have barter, we went to gold coins, physical cash as well, gold, right? And then of course we have plastic cards. A lot of us still use our debit cards, credit cards. But even more so today, everything's gone digital, right? Now we tap our phone, we tap our watch, we pay for things digitally. A lot of places you go to, they don't even want to accept cash. So it only makes sense in the evolution of money, the next form of money is digital. And believe it or not, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, Canada, the Bank of Canada actually announced that they're looking to explore digital currencies. And they want the opinion of course, people here, right? So they're already looking to create their own digital currency for Canada. And so you have 2 options. Either you kind of just say, you know what, I don't want to get involved, or I don't know enough, and I'm just going to wait it out, and eventually we'll have to use their cryptocurrency. Or you can take the time now to learn about it and get ahead of it and get in on your own terms, right? Because it's going to happen regardless, okay? So you can see it only makes sense. The next step is cryptocurrency. But I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, isn't Bitcoin over? Everything has dropped quite a bit. A lot of times, especially right now, anytime I talk to anybody, they're like, okay, but I lost so much money, and I've lost money too. Like I said, I've been in this game for a long time. And the funny part is, this is not new, right? Like I said, I got started in 2016. In 2017, this is the first time we saw Bitcoin go to like 9,000 US. And we were like, sorry, not 9,000, 19,000 US. We were super excited, super pumped. And we're like, you know what? You know, everybody feels they're going to be a millionaire, they're going to be rich and everything. And then right after that, it drops significantly, right? And so what happens is there's actually a cycle to this. It's really repetitive, just like the economy, right? Where you have ups and you have downs. So even though, yes, the market has dropped a lot, not financial advice, by the way, everything that I say, please do your own research. I have to put the disclaimer. But I will personally say, what I tell my students, this moment right now is one of the best times to start getting into this space, okay? Yes, Bitcoin is starting to already make it come back, and it's a great way to diversify your income. Not, of course, put all of it. You want to invest, you want to have a strategy, a game plan of how are you going to get into the market, how are you going to monetize it, and then how are you successfully going to exit. A lot of the times, people lose money because they don't know when to take their money out. They kind of just watch it. I know some of you guys can probably relate, right? You guys kind of watch it go down, hoping that it's going to go back up, right? So having a strategy of how to actually take those profits out, that's where you can actually realize a lot of those profits. So yes, Canada is looking to create their own cryptocurrency. We have companies like McDonald's that's already accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. Walmart already uses a lot of the technology as well. And other fashion brands like Louis Vuitton and some of the other higher brands have already accepted this as their own technology as well. So diving in a little bit, covering some of the basics for those that maybe don't know. What is cryptocurrency? Why is it so exciting? And so we think about crypto, it's really just a digital currency, right? Just like how if anybody does like e-transfer, right, where you're able to go onto your online banking, someone's email, you're able to send them funds, everything's online. It's very similar to that same process, right? The only difference with crypto, unlike the governments, you can't just print as many as you want, right? With Bitcoin specifically, what makes crypto so attractive is the fact that there is a limit in terms of how much crypto is out there, right? How much Bitcoin, right? So when you think about the Canadian dollar, they print as much as they want, whatever they want. With Bitcoin, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever, right? And I was just looking the other day, I'm like, there's like 8.2 billion people in the world, but there's only 21 million Bitcoin, right? What happens when 8 billion people realize that, right? So the fact that there is a limit, a limited supply, that's when you start to see the price and Bitcoin start to increase because people start to see the value, and of course, it becomes more and more scarce. So with crypto, yes, Bitcoin is out there, but there's over 15,000 different types of cryptocurrencies. They do lots of different things. You can use them in a lot of different ways. And a lot of this cryptocurrency and how they work, they use something called blockchain technology, okay? Now, like I said, I don't have a huge background in tech, right? But I fell in love with this, and I'm gonna explain this as simple as possible, because that's the way that I like to educate. And to be honest with you, one of the questions people always ask me is, why did you get involved in crypto? Right? Yes, everyone wants to make money, but why cryptocurrency? Why technology? And what I start to see is a pattern, right? I saw Blockbuster, right, turn into like Netflix. That we saw regular taxis kind of shift into Uber. And I'm seeing that same type of pattern that anytime technology gets involved, it's game changing. Does anybody else agree? Yes or yes? Perfect. So this is the same exact scenario that I'm seeing. We are so early. Yes, people are talking about Bitcoin. Yes, people are, there's good and there's bad, but it's not going anywhere. And there's so much opportunity for you to get involved, to understand how you can take advantage of this technology. And I'm going to actually share, I have one slide in here that is full of gems. So if I was you guys, I'll let you know what it is, but you should take a picture of it. But it's about, I can't even tell you all the juices yet. But it's super exciting and there's a lot of opportunities, okay? One of the key things I want to point out though when it comes to cryptocurrency, why it's so unique, is it's not owned by one central organization. So of course, like I said, the Bank of Canada, when they want to print money, they print it. With crypto, it's not one centralized organization. And so this is where you'll hear the term decentralization, where everybody gets to participate. It's not one organization. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Can you guys hear me better now? Yes, I love it, awesome. So, decentralization, you're gonna hear this term a lot as you kind of learn more and more about cryptocurrency in this space, but the whole idea is nobody really owns Bitcoin. Everybody's asking me, well, I mean, what if the government decides to like ban Bitcoin or something like that? The truth is, they can't stop it. I have a lot of students throughout Africa, even more so in like Nigeria, and believe it or not, their own government has tried to ban crypto a lot, right? But once again, it's like the people that live there, they don't want to use their own currency because their currency doesn't necessarily have as much value, right? And so they literally depend on Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies to be able to buy goods and services every day, right? And to be able to actually have access to financial services. So that's the other reason why I got involved, right? Because I started off this journey and I'm like, okay, I just want to invest, I want to be able to make money, but then I realized it's so much bigger than that. There's people around the world that don't even have access to financial services, a bank account, credit, mortgages. What do they do if they can't open a bank account? Where do they keep their money, right? And so this, once again, someone anywhere, doesn't matter where they're located, all they need is access to internet. They can go ahead, create a digital wallet, and actually store some of these digital currencies. Be able to buy goods and services. That whole entire financial system is now available, right? I just did a video actually on posted on social media talking about like crypto mortgages, right? Where now you can, like I said, have crypto loans, use that those investments as collateral, right? Once again, you don't have to worry about the traditional financial system, but everybody gets access to it, okay? Now, I want to dive a little bit more into Bitcoin. Has anyone invested in Bitcoin? Okay, a few, I love it, awesome. So Bitcoin is the #1 and as well as the largest cryptocurrency to date. Started off in 2009. No one necessarily knows who created it. They go under the alias Satoshi Nakamoto. And yeah, so we started back in 2009. We've seen the price grow as much as 70,000 US just for one Bitcoin. And what's really interesting is some people are like, well, I don't have 70,000 to buy one Bitcoin. But the best part is you don't need 70,000. You can actually purchase a fraction of Bitcoin. So as an example, if you have $100, you can use $100 and just buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. And it'll look like a decimal amount, a fraction of it. Right? So like I said, when I started, I only invested $300, right? And I just got that amount worth of Bitcoin. So you do not need to own a full one. The price, of course, continues to fluctuate, but what we're seeing is year after year, it's one of the best performing assets, right, that are out there because it continues to grow. And as I mentioned earlier, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. That's it, right? And I believe there's already like 19,000 that we've already kind of reached, or that's already in the hands of different individuals and stuff like that. Another quick resource that I'll also mention, one of my favorite resources, so if you're taking notes, please write this down. There's a website called coingecko.com. And this website, think of it as like the Google for everything crypto related. So if you want to see what are the prices of these different cryptos, what are their websites, where can you go to buy these cryptocurrencies, or if you want to track your entire portfolio of investments, you can do all of that there on that free website, okay? coingecko.com. And so this is where you can actually see a full list. You can learn about which cryptocurrencies are in the sports industry, which cryptocurrencies are maybe in the real estate space. Because the truth is, this technology hits every single industry, right? And there's a lot of different ways to get involved, to be able to diversify. So it's very similar to stocks. You can diversify because they're all in different industries. But it's important to know that some of them are riskier than others. Some of them, can do different things. And it's really important for you to have that same strategy of how are you going to get in, how are you going to monetize it, and then how do you get out, right? And the biggest piece as to why people lose money in this space, they don't know when to buy. They don't even have a plan to sell. And lack of security. They don't know where do you keep your crypto? How do you keep it safe? How do you avoid falling for some of those crypto scams, which are out there, which is a lot. I have so many fake accounts, it's crazy, right? So you have to be very, very careful and know how to avoid a lot of those different scams that are out there, okay? Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about blockchain, and to be very transparent with you guys, this excites me more than cryptocurrency. Yes, crypto is great, but like I said, with that whole concept of Blockbuster to Netflix or taxis to Uber, the technology is really where the wealth is at, okay? And so to break it down simple for you, blockchain is really just like the name. It's literally a chain of blocks. And within the blocks, you're able to keep certain data and transactions that are very secure and very transparent, which means anybody and everybody can actually see all of that information. So I'll give you an example. Let's take you, sir, as an example. Let's say I want to send you 2 Bitcoin, right? Of course, I'm able to log into my digital wallet and send that to you. But what's really cool with this tech is that everybody else in this room can log on to a specific website and see that same transaction of how much was sent, what time it was sent, the addresses that it went to, right? If we think about the bank, you give them your money, you don't really know what they're doing with it. There's a lack of transparency there. So this is why people love this, because it's all open. It's transparent and available to everybody. And then of course, it's very secure, which is really great. And essentially, you just don't need any intermediaries, right? So if you think about right now, if I want to send money to someone across the world, I have to go through a bank or one of the other institutions. There's lots of fees. They're gonna, take maybe a few days or so in order for it to be processed. They want all of your information. If I want to send you, once again, 2 Bitcoin, all I need is the address of where I should send it to. I put that in, and usually I want to say within 5 to maybe 15 minutes, it's there. You could be somewhere else in another country, and you're still going to get those funds in almost instantly, right? You don't have a middleman that's telling you whether or not you can accept those funds, right? Once again, going back to that concept where not everybody has access to a financial institution, it's powerful, okay? So yeah, these are some of the pieces about the blockchain. But, and we're getting closer to that slide, by the way, that I was talking about earlier. But this slide is huge because now we're really diving into what are the opportunities in this space. How does someone like yourself get involved, or what are the best ways to really get the most out of this space, right? So of course we talked about investing is a great way to diversify, essentially, being able to buy low till it goes back up. And once again, not financial advice, but I personally do believe we will see Bitcoin get to not only 70K like it was previously, but 100K, 200K more, right? Once again, it's just over time. So investing is great, being able to earn interest on your crypto, right? Does anybody here have a savings account, just by show of hands? Okay, perfect. So the savings account, and by the way, I used to work at a financial institution as well before this. Actually, funny enough, I was actually working at the bank while building my Bitcoin and crypto business. But essentially, when you think about traditional savings accounts, You're lucky if you get 1%, right? Maybe if you're doing mutual funds or so, maybe 2 or so, right? 2%. With crypto, once again, you are becoming your own bank. You have similar opportunities to earn interest on your crypto. And yes, you can earn anywhere from 1 to even 30% interest annually. And that's not locked in. But it's just people don't know about these opportunities, okay? So there's one platform, one crypto wallet that I always recommend to my students in my academy called Exodus. Okay, and for those that are interested, I would say, come see me at the booth as well, because I want to make sure you guys are downloading and actually accessing the right things. Because like I said, there's a lot of crypto scams. But this wallet, literally you can download it onto your phone, onto your computer, and as soon as you download it, it doesn't ask for your name, email, address, nothing, right? Everybody's becoming their own bank. So as soon as you download this digital wallet, as soon as you download, literally you can actually start to see the portfolio. It says, do you want to deposit crypto? And you can literally start operating as a bank, right? Which is great. But essentially that platform is one of the best and easiest ways to start earning crypto passively, right? So if you have, as an example, I think it's Cardano, another cryptocurrency, short form is called ADA, not financial advice. But let's say you have that cryptocurrency and you have it on this crypto wallet, you can actually get paid, I think it's maybe like 6% annually, and a lot of the interest they pay weekly, sometimes even multiple times a week, right? And you can just have your funds sitting there and growing in the background. And then on top of the interest that you're earning, as the market is growing and going back up, just like the economy, you're gonna start to see that grow even more. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes? Perfect. So there's a lot of opportunities to earn passive income. Another great opportunity that I'm so excited about is people starting businesses in this space. Oh my goodness, there is a huge need for people that are learning about the technology, or even better, I want you to think about the industry that you are currently in, right? Whether it's healthcare, whether it's real estate, whether you're an artist, there is a way for you to use this technology in your current business or start a business in your field, okay? 100% there is, and I'm more than happy to talk about that and kind of show you how you can do that. But if you're able to figure out how you can use that technology in your business, there's so much opportunities. You can put yourself ahead of the game. So like I said, this technology hits every single industry, right? So it's like if you are able to go ahead and actually set yourself apart, that's huge. One of the key areas, I'm going a little bit ahead, but one of the areas that I really love is the real estate space with this, right? Like I said, I just did a video talking about crypto mortgages. There's opportunities for you to even get what they call fractional ownership, right? Where instead of having to have, the full amount of capital to purchase a building, you can actually just purchase a fraction of the building and still be able to earn residual income every single month. Does that make see that I had to share a thing? So with this, in the real estate space, like I said, instead of having or needing the full capital to actually purchase a building, you can actually own a fraction of that building, right? And all of that's done through blockchain. Because if you think about it this way, I said that you can own a fraction of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin uses the same technology as blockchain, right? It's the same thing, it uses blockchain. So anything with blockchain really allows you to turn full assets into digital assets, and then you can turn them into fractional assets, right? So real estate, once again, is a great way, even like healthcare. So regardless of which industry you're in, you want to be able to get involved and get ahead of your game, okay? Ahead of your opponents, ahead of everything, because there's so much opportunity. And the next slide gets me excited because it's still on that topic. The other piece is working in crypto. There are so many organizations that are hiring guys, and if you don't have tech experience, you do not need to be technical. I'm not technical, I do not know how to code, and you don't need to know how to code to be able to get involved. The best part is companies that are in this industry, they need people. They need people that are marketing directors, that are analysts, researchers, right? Event managers, community builders, right? So every other role that you see today, they still need that because they're still businesses, right? So even if you're looking to shift careers, they need people that have those traditional tangible skills and be able to work for their organizations. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Perfect. And so whether you have experience in this industry or not, they're still willing to hire you. I talk to companies all the time, they're like, hey, like, I need you to educate our staff, because we of course hire them because they're great in the field that they're in, marketing, HR, whatever, but they don't understand crypto or they don't understand blockchain, but they still hire them. Right? So if you're looking for a career shift, there's a lot of opportunities, and they, like I said, you're putting yourself ahead of the game and ahead of the curve, okay? The last piece like I talked about already is the crypto mortgages already, but I want to get to the exciting side, okay? What people don't know. This is the one that I said you guys should take a picture of. And I'm more than happy to share details after, but this is exciting because people don't realize that there's actually millions of dollars that are available for people that are looking to start a business in this space. And for me, I'm the type of person I like to be on top of all the different resources and opportunities that are available, right? It was literally the other day, there's another cryptocurrency, not financial advice, called Solana, right? They have their own foundation. And essentially, they made an announcement that they have a grant of $1 million, a fund I should say, that they want to give out to people that are starting businesses in the AI/blockchain space. And then they recently tweeted and updated that they've actually changed that amount from $1 million to $10 million for people that have business ideas. And also, I want to make a quick note as well. The cryptocurrency space is very, very, very basic, okay? Very, very basic and very casual, right? So when I go to events for crypto, everybody's wearing shorts and a t-shirt, literally. And it's a business, well, not business conference, but it's a conference, right? So it's not as strict, doesn't have as many rules as like the traditional system, right? When it comes to getting funding for like grants and stuff like that, the rules and the applications are very, very, very simple, guys. Like they're not as detailed as like the traditional system, right? So it's a lot easier to get funding. But like I said, $10 million that they're giving out to businesses, right? And when I was looking and doing some research, I was trying to figure out how many people have applied so far. They said 50 people, 50 applications, and there's a $10 million fund, right? So there's a lot of opportunities, guys. There's also accelerator programs, right, where you can they'll teach you how to build an app, right? As long as you have an idea and you're interested in building something in this space, they'll actually help you to build an app. And then of course there's a lot of funding for startups, right? And then you're able to really just get going with it. And then of course Google also launched their own blockchain program as well that comes with mentorship as well as funding, right, for people that want to start a business in this space. And another one, the last one, there is another organization that also has their own cryptocurrency. It's called Polkadot, not financial advice. But they also have a 4-week program for people that are interested in learning how to code and become developers. If you know how to code, or you know someone that knows how to code, they can make so much money in this space because they are desperately, like the #1 job is literally a developer, right, in this industry, okay? So if you know how to code or you're in the beginning stages, literally there's tons of opportunities. So there's one organization, Polkadot, they have a 4-week academy. They host it in different places. I think they just finished one in Silicon Valley. But the next one, I think they said is in January, it's gonna be in Hong Kong. And literally having a conversation with them, they're like, yeah, we need more people, we want more diverse applicants as well. They literally are paying all of your expenses for the 4 weeks that you're there in Hong Kong. Exactly. You just have to pay for your flight there. But once you're there, everything else is paid for. And it's just because they want to teach people how to like build and code on their own platform, right? And that's literally the space. There's so many different opportunities for people that are interested in learning, interested in a career, or interested in a business. It's just people don't know this information, right? So there's a lot of opportunities, and it's exciting, yes. But that's also one of the reasons why I created the Crypto Strategy Academy. Because there's so much resources. I know I talked about a lot, and you're probably like, okay, where do I even start? Right? But this is why I created the Academy, which is like a full 7-week program, breaks down how do you start investing, how do you create your portfolio and understand the type of investor you are, and how to secure all the way to, understanding the blockchain, how to start a business, how to secure a career in this space, and most importantly, how do you start a business? What are those resources that are available, or how can you start a business or an opportunity in your specific field? Like, how are they using the technology in your industry, right? Because trust me, they are, and if they aren't, that's a huge opportunity, right? So yes, it's a full 7-week program. It's about an hour. It's about an hour once a week, usually on Sundays at about 12. It is totally virtual because I do have students literally globally as well. So regardless of where people are tuning in from, they can of course join. This is a full breakdown of the 7 weeks. Like I said, really focused on introduction to this industry. And this program is mainly for people that either are like super brand new or have already invested and know a little bit, but really want to be able to dive in properly and know what they're doing and how to really get involved to this extent. So we cover a lot of content. It is all recorded, so I always advise my students to go back, watch the recording, have all that detail, and you do get lifetime access to the recording as well, so you do have all of that information, which is great. And yeah, we have great students kind of like all over. We do literally a new topic each week and have had over 350 students that have graduated the program so far around the world, which is exciting. And like I said, I'm very passionate about diversity within the space. And so I'm so happy to also mention that the last 3 cohorts that we've had, I'd like to say maybe 55% were women, which is really exciting as well. Trying to get more women into the space, and I see a lot of you out there, which is awesome. And then yeah, like I said, the details are all there. We have more details at the booth as well. The program is going to be starting in July, like I said, every Sunday for 7 weeks at about 12 p.m. Eastern, okay? And it's all recorded as well, okay? But yes, guys, that is a lot of information, I know. I'm definitely super excited to be here. I do travel quite a bit for different events, and I'm more than happy to connect with all of you. But I'm going to stop here because I know we're going to do a bit of a Q&A, because I'm sure a lot of you have questions about some of the different content. So I'm going to take a quick pause here. And yeah, does anybody have any questions? I believe we have a mic here. Feel free to ask anything underneath the sun regarding anything that I've mentioned so far, or even if you just want to learn about your specific industry, feel free to do so. Don't be shy. Go ahead. You can listen. You have me, you're a crypto expert, so feel free to take advantage while you can.
So my question is about government regulation, right? So there is none currently. And I've heard some of the noise from the banking industry isn't exactly excited. The Fed recently had some real trepidations around blockchain, I think. So curious to know what you think about regulation and whether there's fear there, whether it's something that's new or should get explained.
Yeah, great question. Regulation, rules, I love it. So how do I feel about it? I want to say it's kind of either or. So I say that because, number one, I'm all about be your own bank. Everybody has access to financial services. Everybody can really take on that ownership. But on the other side, in order for like the everyday investor to really want to get involved, as well as large organizations and corporations that do things, by the book and need regulation, we have to have some type of guideline. Right, there's actually a lot of companies right now that are like begging the government for regulation because they want to get involved in this space. But yet, if they do, they might, be on the wrong side of it. So people want to get involved. They're just waiting on the government. A lot of it is just they need to be educated, right? Unfortunately, we have to take the time, stop, and make sure they understand the technology so that we can have the regulation. In terms of banks, actually, a lot of them have been adopting it or working on it, on the low, I should say, learning how some of their clients can actually start accepting cryptocurrencies, start investing in cryptocurrencies as well. We see large organizations like Visa, MasterCard, they're already working in the space, launching their own crypto products as well, and helping people and other businesses start accepting crypto as a form of payment too. So it's out there, they can't stop it. But I also understand that we need regulation in order for everybody else in the large money. I think it was Mr. Wonderful, for anybody that watches Shark Tank, he literally did an interview and said he believes that trillions of dollars will come into the space once we have regulation because those companies want to get in, but they need to know how to do it properly. But great question.
Double dip here and ask a question. Could you speak on DeFi, decentralized finance, and like dApps and decentralized apps and stuff in Web 3.0, and how that might open up access to capital for small businesses, thinking about, if you could crowdsource, which people have done in Africa and in other parts of the world, they've figured out a way to get money to people. But how is there a way that you're seeing in the crypto space that's emerging that maybe those kind of decentralized apps and financing options might actually open up opportunities for new entrepreneurs?
Yeah, great questions. Actually, as you're saying that, and once again, I have to put this disclaimer, not financial advice, but there is actually, I'll actually say, because I'm getting excited thinking about it, but there was one of the best opportunities, and I'll probably say one of the most lucrative opportunities, was when I saw this new type of crowdfunding style where essentially there's a list of different cryptocurrency projects that are upcoming. And when I say projects, think of it almost as businesses, right? So all these different businesses want to be able to get funding from the community. And the way that they have it set up is as you invest in one, right, not only will you eventually get those funds that you've invested back, but because that project or that company is launching their cryptocurrency, they actually are going to give you some of their coins for free, right? And that model essentially is the overall company has like a huge fund of money that they want to be able to allocate, and in order for them to allocate, and they're asking the community to vote. So when you're actually investing, quote unquote, investing your cryptocurrency in that company, you're voting for them, right? And yes, you get those funds back, plus you get the free coins or free cryptocurrency that they are also creating for the organization. And all of that is within that decentralized finance, everybody be their own bank type of space, right? So you're starting to see the shift of how we know what crowdfunding looks like today compared to what it will look like in the future, where we as individuals can actually choose what we want to see, right? And so this is where you'll also hear the term of a DAO, like DAO, where instead of one person making the decisions in an organization, it's like everybody has access, right? And so when it comes to this space, there is a lot of growth and there's so many different pieces, but it is getting out there. And I think the biggest piece is just everyone being able to be their own bank is really the biggest piece, regardless of where you're looking. And so, and I kind of mentioned earlier, like all the different financial services that you can think of are now available in this like cryptocurrency space. So like I said, crypto loans, people are actually loaning out their crypto, right? Imagine, imagine I need like one Bitcoin and you have one Bitcoin. I can actually loan that Bitcoin from you, right? So there's opportunities, once again, you're gonna earn interest, right, and make money on it. So there's everything you can think of in terms of the financial system is literally replicated and more within this space. But yeah, really great question. Anybody else have any questions? Like I said, you guys have me for a few more minutes, so I can probably take 2 more questions.
You talk about staking and making passive income, which is great. But when you see a company like Celsius or BlockFi or fail, is it something that you believe is wise to look at? And what do you think this is going?
Yeah, great question. So for those who are maybe not too familiar, there have been some crypto companies that, just like, even outside of crypto, there's companies that have their business running and then maybe go under or having issues. And so he's really just asking for the idea of being able to earn interest on your crypto. What are my thoughts about that? Even though there's companies that have kind of gone down in that sense. So the biggest difference is about the platforms that you're using. There's some platforms that allow you to buy and sell crypto as well as earn passive income, and they're what we call centralized. So when you create an account, they ask you for your name, your email, your ID, they want a picture of your passport or whatever, right, to verify you. And we call that a centralized organization. So you can, use your platform and buy, but you do not want to leave your crypto on there. Because what happens is, you're giving that ownership over your crypto to them. So if anybody heard about FTX, right? If your money was on their website, you gave that to them. If they go down, your funds are lost. So on the other side of what I'm talking about is other crypto wallets or other websites that allow you to be in control of your funds, where if you put your funds there and you're earning passively because you're earning that interest, you don't have to worry about another organization because you actually own it and all of that information of what you own is on the blockchain, right? All of that data is secured and it's there, so you don't have to worry. So ideally, like, yes, you know, you want to use some of those platforms to buy and sell crypto, but you don't want to leave it there. You just want to use them to fulfill that purpose. And so I'll also mention too, when it comes to buying or where do you go to buy or where do you go to sell your crypto, especially here in Canada, and I have to point this out because a lot of people that watch social media, they see the different, you know, crypto educators that are out there. A lot of what you'll see, number one, is going to be focused on platforms that are mainly in the US or overseas. But here in Canada, and you know, I say Ontario is even a little bit more strict, but in Canada, we have our own regulations as well, right? We have limited access to certain platforms, right? So if you actually go online, you can actually see a list of the top websites or organizations that are actually, I want to say, like following the rules essentially, and are legally allowed to be, you know, be available to users to buy and sell, right? It's a very short list, I guess you can say, for the top ones. Once again, not financial advice, but some of the platforms I usually recommend to my Canadian students is something like ShakePay is pretty good. You can download it on your phone, very instant. Moving or buying Bitcoin as simple as you would with like moving money from your checking account to your savings, right? So you can buy Bitcoin or buy Ethereum very easily. Before that, I like to use like Binance, was also pretty good. And there's a lot of other like crypto platforms as well that you can use. And like I said, if you're looking to like earn passively, I would say start with something like Exodus because it doesn't need your ID or any information, you can start earning. And actually, I have the pleasure of working with a lot of youth as well, a lot of kids, and a lot of parents are like, well, I want to invest in crypto for my kids. How do I do that? And I also recommend Exodus, that same wallet, because what happens is literally, like I said, you can download it. It doesn't ask for your name. It doesn't matter how old you are. And then you can have those funds set aside for your kids, right? I met this one lady that's like paying her son allowance in Bitcoin every week, right? And she has it aside and he's able to watch it grow and to learn about investing and stuff like that. So yeah, really great question. So I appreciate you asking. I have time for maybe one more question. Any of the ladies want to come up? I'd love to hear from them as well. No question is a dumb question, by the way. We're all learning together.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if you've talked about the Web3 developers or development services. How can that be presented so that people can understand the Web3? Number two, I think you talked about the regulations on blockchain. I'm not too sure if there's clarity in Canada for blockchain, NFTs, or anything like that for issues by the government, because I think elsewhere we're starting to see El Salvador, we're starting to see other European countries accepting the regulatory stuff here in Canada is not there for blockchain technology.
Perfect, love it. So to your first question in regards to how people learn about this other keyword called Web3, or the third version of the internet, there is a lot of great resources. I have a lot of great resources as well. What I'll also mention is that it's still coming. So the thing about the crypto space is you're always going to hear like these new fancy words that sound like, oh my gosh, it's like the next big thing. But sometimes it's not that serious. So when we think about the term Web3, we're really just thinking about the third version of the internet. So to break it down really quickly, the first version of the internet, we think about back when people had huge monitors and so forth, like back in the day when the internet first came out, a lot of what we could really do was just read information, right, in terms of the internet. Then we have Web 2, the second version, which is kind of where we are now. We can read information online, but we can also interact, right? And we can also create information. This is where we have like Facebook and Instagram, these different social medias. The third version of the internet, which is what we believe is coming, is where now not only are we reading, we're creating content, but now we actually get to own our content. We get to own what people can have, right? I'm sure every time you go on a website, they're tracking your cookies, tracking your information, all your data. Imagine, instead of being able to like log in with like your email address, you can log in with what we call like a crypto wallet. And all they need to know is that you are a valid individual, and that's it. They don't need to have your name, your address, or all of that data, right? So it's a bit more on terms of the ownership side. I do provide a lot of resources too when it comes to learning, because I know it can be, like I said, there's steps and levels to it. And then to your second question in regards to regulation, once again, like I said, they can't stop it. There's countries around the world that already accepted Bitcoin as a legal tender as well, right? So we're going to continue to see Canada, you know, like I said, they literally just announced that they're looking to create their own digital currency, which at the same time is still going to have a lot of the same issues that we do today, where they're going to continue to create that currency as much as they want, right? And inflation and so forth, compared to with crypto, specifically like Bitcoin, there's a limited number. So, great question. Feel free to come catch me after. However, before I go, just do me a quick favor, guys. Everybody stand up for me real quick. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Real quick. Awesome. Like I said and how I started this conversation, I'm all about affirmation, speaking your success into existence, and really just putting it out there, right? So I want you guys to give me some energy, repeat after me as I go through this, because you guys should already know what I'm about to say. But just repeat after me. It's possible, it's necessary, it's worth it. One more time. It's possible, it's necessary, and it's worth this. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.